So you know the channel, I make a lot of informative videos, guides, gadget reviews, etc. But let's talk about something a little bit more informative, but also something a little more fun to watch as well. So primarily why I'm making this video is because one, I want to get my watch hours up, not gonna lie. And number two is providing feedback to other people's works. Now, I know I'm not the best person, but I know I can provide some valuable feedback, even if it's just saying how something might be done in a certain piece of media or just learning myself on how to do it. Like just thinking about those React channels, I thought this was a really good idea on how to make stuff while still creating something informative for everyone to watch. And third of all, I just really want to create a community on this. So this is just going to be stuff I find for this episode. But if you want to submit ideas or you want to have your ideas in a video, feel free to hit me up. And I'd love to have your stuff in this video and on the channel because we're trying to create a community here. So I really think it'd be awesome for us to all get together and create something strong with everyone. And remember, with this video, I'm trying to create constructive criticism. I'm also trying to just put my own opinions in. I'm also just trying to get some ideas as well because it's always fun to learn from other people. There's always people who are doing things different or even better than you. I always think it's just better to be fresh and not remain stationary in all the stuff that you're doing because that's where, you constantly just go in the endless loop. You go insane. You don't want to do that. So that's what the purpose of this is here. So we're going to jump right into it and I'm going to transition to the computer screen. You'll see me in the corner and I'll come back in every now and then too. So first off, we're going to start with someone who might look a little bit familiar. Okay, so this is going to be me. We're going to start talking about some of my work here. And again, like I said, this is just for feedback. This is stuff even reviewing what I've done over the years, just because I think it's always good to review yourself as well. So over here, we have some of my stuff that I've done. So over here, we have like my rig and a few promotional posts and then stuff I've uploaded somewhat recently. So I didn't know that they actually had 4 on top now. This used to be perfect for the 3, but obviously that's changed. Profile wise, I think I've done pretty well, not gonna lie. Just only because I want to create a vibe. I want to create stuff that's informative over here so people can find it really easily. And I just try to make everything very easy to find. Now we go down here. I'm probably going to change these up because I think they're a little outdated now, but I do like how they look. So I think those would be ones I would personally want to stay. But stuff here, like I'm really proud of the 3 Days Grace one, but other ones where like these colors I feel like are good, but this one's like really bright for some reason. I kind of would have made it more muted, more monochromatic, or even more like cohesive is probably the word I'm going for. Some other ones, they looked better on the phone compared to on computer. Like this one over here, I think it could be better as a wide shot. I think it got cut off a little bit if I'm not mistaken, or it was just taken that way. Can't remember because I took a lot for that. And then we have other ones here. I like the vibes of these, but I would have probably made them more wide. I just think having stuff wider would look more nice, more minimalist. I think some stuff I've done here was good in the time. I think like something like this is actually really good because I like how far she is. But some other ones were like maybe this one of I think it was, what's her name, Reve. It's a little too close and also it's actually a little out of focus just because of how it was taken. Yeah, I was really into like making it very cohesive back then, but yeah, things have changed obviously. Like I used to do like 3 different of the same shoot because again, like I said, the grid was like that. But yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. This is all going to change. I plan to make a good amount of changes. Even this top part might change, but yeah, that's just me. So a little bit of criticism for myself. Just wanted to throw that in there. We're definitely going to talk more as I find more people on the videos. But yeah, let's jump into the explore page. I see a bunch here. I really like a lot of these. This one caught my eye immediately. I actually saw this a little bit earlier too. But I really like how this is done. So there's a couple things I've learned over the years that could be done for certain effects. So first up, this is probably projector. I'm just going to say that it's either that or it could be a spotlight. Could be either one. It's pretty easy to do for both. And if I have pictures, I'll put it on screen now so you can get an idea. But this is really cool. I really like how clean this circle is. The gradients, all that. And maybe, just saying, not likely, but it could be one of those sunset lamps. But that's another way to get this effect really easily. Now, as you all saw in my other stuff was not as color graded as I would say. So this one I really like because it's just orange, black, and red. There's like 3 colors and that's pretty much it. So we're getting a very cohesive look. It's really nicely done. I really do like how this has been achieved, and this is something I would probably go for. I like this wide shot as well, which is better. Over here, we probably just have some light. Not sure exactly how that's done, to be honest, but I think it's probably like a side light somewhere, or you know, this could even just be a picture for all I know. I'm not sure. Outfit is pretty sick. And then we have this down here, which is I think the most interesting part of the image because it looks like water. Now, if I look correctly, it does look like water, but now if we look closely, it does look a bit like water. But the other thing it could be is that like I don't know what the actual name is. It's like this very it's like this very shiny slash reflective kind of material. I think it's something with an M. I'll put it on screen if I find it. But yeah, it's supposed to create this effect, and you can just like make it and contort it a bit to get this kind of look, or even project it from somewhere. Not project it, but like reflect light on it. That's the other way to do it. But I think the way his foot is, it could be water. I haven't looked at all the images, so let's just see if we can find out. But yeah, it kind of looks like it might have just been one of that material rather than water, because it's completely clean here. I don't think they would have moved an entire pool for that, but I could be wrong. Oh, okay. So we got some BTS here. So yeah, this looks like we got a snoot here, SWAT light, sorry. Okay, let's just pause this one. This stops. Okay, cool. So we got a light here. We got something here. Yeah, I think it's a projection, but yeah, we have some other effects there. I'm not gonna like go too in depth with it because I want to move on to some other stuff. But yeah, you can see how it's done here. We just randomly got BTS on some of this stuff. But yeah, I'm just gonna scroll through, and this is with I'm not even trying to pronounce the name, just so you see it right there, and the photography person who's there. Okay, cool. So we have that. Let's keep scrolling. I really like this vibe. Like, I'm gonna just say this caught my eye. I love how well this is done, and like I said, more color grading. I think color grading is really key to telling a story, because you really need to find like the vibe in the image, and I'm definitely focusing on that a lot more. I've experimented a lot more, especially in video, because it's just something that I noticed in movies, I noticed in a bunch of different places. So yeah, we have a lot going on here. I'm not going to break down every single thing in every single person's thing, because we're going to be here for a while. But so over here we have texture. Now I really like the texture on this, because we're getting that old film grain look, and it's something that looks really nice and stuff like this, because with the color grading, with just the vibe of it, and like that and with the out of focus look, you get a lot going on for these images. And I really like how they give it almost like this like vibe of being nostalgic, and like almost like a painting in a way. So I'm just going to scroll through everything. This is a really cool effect, got done through probably like a glass or something, and then obviously they focused on the smears and all the imperfections of the glass compared to the person. Gives it a nice cool look. This, I think it's a lens flare or maybe a shutter drag, I'm not sure. It could be either one. Same thing pretty much. So yeah, we got a bunch of cool things, and then we got the creator here. Now I'm not going to go through only like vibey stuff. I'm going to go through some tutorials as well, because I think some of them, you know, could be worth going into. So let's go to something that we find down here. Okay, so I just saw this, caught my eye. So the morph transition effect. Okay, let's see how this is done. Okay, so we're going to take this here. Okay, I figured out he's going to probably like key it in or something. Let's see if I'm right. You're going to take the same shot like 4 times, and probably like a clean slate or whatever it is. A clean plate, sorry. And then you're going to essentially do that. Okay, let's see if he does it. So yeah, he's putting all them in. And then your script. And then let's see. Okay, he's kind of doing AI with this. So okay, let's see what's happening. Okay, one more. So this one looks like it's more AI, which is kind of cool. Okay, so it looks like this one's part AI and part effect. So you have to like use motion and also use the AI effect to kind of make it all happen. I think you could do this in camera, like without much of the AI stuff. It does take a lot more effort, but I think you could do it, like I said, with just keying things in and out and then just being very smooth with it. But it does take a lot more effort. So AI is the next way to go on that. So just enhance your work with it. Don't let it replace it. But you know, we never know, in the next few years that could change. Okay, look at this. Let's see. Here, the Pelican case or any kind of case like that, highly recommend for many people, because you're going to get a lot of use out of it. I found mine, you know, just randomly at a shop, and it actually is very nice. Like, I didn't expect it to be good, and I found it for a good price. I used it a lot more later on, like I'm saying almost like a year or two later of getting it. And I realized that it was really good because of the sturdiness, and also just you can lock things, you can do different things. Not a sponsor or anything, but I'm just saying that I didn't use it that much, only using like the yellow and black boxes from Walmart that were like really good for stuff. But the problem was it was hard to take around. But after using it for a while, the Pelican, I'm saying, worked out really well. And I personally use that as like my go-to, like my ready to go kit right away. That's something I can take with me anywhere. And you know, I feel good about what I have with me. Okay, so let's see what this guy's doing. He's prepping his rig. So everyone's rig is gonna be different. Kit out yours the way it is. But yeah, one thing I will say about this layer up here, this like organizer, those things are good. I don't have one personally, but it's pretty expensive. But there's two things you can do. You can either leave the foam there, or what I would do, which I actually saw a YouTuber make, I'll either put the video on screen in the description, or maybe I'll just say go find it. But probably that one, to be honest. But what you essentially could do is to make this almost exact thing and almost more customizable in a way. You can basically take Velcro and put it on the top, Velcro tape, and then stick it like adhesive wise. So you won't have the foam on there obviously, but even if you have that, it's not really going to be much more padding anyway. And then you get like clear or basic whatever kind of pouches you want. And then you put the other side of the Velcro on those pouches. Now what that does is that creates basically the same organizer and almost more customizable, like I said, because you can put anything exactly what you want, not preset like this one is. And yeah, it just sits there and works. Just note that some things might fall, some things might be different, but you have to do your research and kind of put it together the way you want. But in a nutshell, that's exactly the way I would make this type of organizer, because I think it will work really well. It just has, it just is a bit expensive, if I remember correctly. And there is a DIY way to do it that seems to work just as good or even better. Okay, we're just gonna quickly go through. Let's see if there's anything else in here. You know what? We're gonna leave this for now because I think it's gonna go on for a while, and I want to show you other stuff. But yeah, that's a cool thing that we see right there. I love stuff like this, by the way, where you can see like how the lights down or the BTS, because that tells us a lot about different types of work. Now let's go and see other stuff here. This type of stuff is a nice vibe. Let's see. Okay, so now we have a bit of like a educational post, which I'm gonna try to do as well. But in the time being, you can kind of see what someone's doing here. So we have how he did it. The grade, like I said, having a good grade is always good. I am experimenting more with this, and I think you could see the difference. Like you could take it from like a cold look to a warm look, something that looks kind of more like ice vibe to let's say like earthy. I don't know if you want to put it into a brand's name, like Skims or something, where it's like more earthy, even easy, something like that. Fear of God even. And then yeah, we have details. Detailed shots, I can't stress enough how good these are. You know, actually I'm just gonna save this. It's actually that good. Yeah, so detailed shots are good. If you're doing a wedding, doing a shoot, doing pretty much anything, these detailed shots will help you show someone off. Like you're showing a vibe, you're showing a product, you're showing pretty much anything. Details are going to tell a story on their own, because you could have a person standing there, but when you zoom in and you see like a button that has maybe a name on it, right? When you zoom in and you have a button that has a name on it, or you zoom in and have like this guy has the jewelry, glasses, the shirt itself, things like that are going to be more interesting to someone, and also they just look different. Like you can have the same shot 500 times in a post, but you know, you can't have the same shot and have people be interested for every single shot. You should have the same, you should have one shot and then should have different things that kind of make it more like a story, a vibe, in my opinion, because that's interesting. That's something that keeps you interested in looking in the rest of the actual post. Kind of like what we're going through here, because if this was the same stuff, probably wouldn't have done it. Even for the first one that I showed you with the orange circle, same thing. Like it's not going to show much difference if you don't have like stuff that's different in it, to put it simply. And then yeah, we have the results here. There's a lot more photos here, so I'm just going to quickly go through them. Yeah, different posing is also really important. He looks like he knows how to pose for those. Some of these are like a little bit out there for me, but yeah, they're still really cool. This fit his vibe. Okay, I saw this one just now. I like the thumbnail already, but let's actually dive into fonts a bit, because I have talked about it briefly on my channel before. I think it's useful to talk about now. So we have this font. I really like how they present them on this, because yeah, it's actually really good. Let's save it. But yeah, this is nice. One thing I do not like about this font though is I feel like it's going to be hard to read. It's going to be more selective on where you put it. So like you put it on a poster for an event, maybe it'll work. You put it on something like a billboard, it's going to be much harder to read. And like think about how you're passing by someplace. You can't read it as quickly with a font like this, in my opinion, at least. Like if I'm driving, I should not be trying and struggling to read and not being able to read this type of font. So it's cool, but remember, when you're trying to do fonts for pretty much anything, you should always think about the context of places it's going to be. So something clean will be much better. Something unique will be much better too. Let's go through a few more. And then we have some futuristic ones here. There's different ones here. I just really like the clean ones. These are all really good for, using different ways like it's showing here. But I think personally my favorite is this one because it's clean and it's legible. It's really easy to see anywhere. So I found this one right here as well. Now, since I talk about weddings a decent amount on this channel, I'm going to just quickly talk about this one as the last one before we end off the video. So essentially this one, he's using a rig or a handheld type of rig. I personally like this because I've never really enjoyed gimbals. Just gimbals didn't seem to work for the way I liked recording, and it just kind of was more detrimental, long story short. But yeah, that'll be another video for another time. So yeah, having a monitor makes it easier to see. And I think the authentic feel of running, and you can see the shakiness and stuff on it, helps show the shot really well. And then also we have the slow shutter speed that is going to help with that shutter drag, very slow kind of filmic and nostalgic vibe kind of effect. So you can see very briefly over here. And then we have him just circling them and stuff, having a nice depth of field when he's circling them, different things like that. And I'm just gonna let it play. But yeah, basically you can see that we have a whole vibe. It's kind of making more like a nostalgic type of video compared to something that's more modern. So I really like how it was done and how it looks. I think stuff like this is great for videos because it just creates a whole different vibe. And I definitely think having a rig is better than just a gimbal. Too many people rely on gimbals in my opinion. So I think this just works really well for not using it all the time and just going out of your comfort zone. So yeah, that's the first episode of this reacting to photography and videography stuff on Instagram or pretty much anywhere. So yeah, I'm gonna leave the video with that. But I really hope you enjoyed and got some value. If you want to see another cool video, be sure to look at this one over here or check out the channel over here. If you want to hit me up on social media, it'll be somewhere on screen now. And be sure to check out in for the next episode because I'm not sure what I'm going to call it, but I plan to do a lot more of these because I want to grow the community like I said in the beginning. And also, I think it'd be really cool for us to talk about each other's stuff that we are creating and that we're constantly sharing with other people. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next video. Peace.